Welcome back, everyone, to Blockcast Show. Today we have an amazing guest, a second VC on our show, Juliet Su, the founding partner of New Tripe Capital. We managed to cover all the topics you would want to know from a VC. What are the main trends in the crypto industry? Where are the VCs investing? What does Juliet see as the main narratives? And what do you, as a founder or as an investor or as a participant of the crypto industry, need to know about the venture capital space? And in the end, we also got Juliet's insights. What are the key things to do here in the UAE? What are the key things to invest here in the UAE, and how to meet Juliet if you want to talk to a VC. You're going to join an amazing show. My name is Anton Golub. Today I'm here with my co-host, Dr. Demetrios Zamboglou. Enjoy Blockcast Show and have a blast.
If we are talking about AI, there is a huge market capacity right now in terms of the valuation growth, right? So that's why, like, if you bring the good intersection of Web3 and AI, then it's something that can provide very good revenue to investors itself. So that's why, like, lots of people say that there is a stablecoin summer that's happening nowadays. Yes. Because now everyone is trying to build their stablecoin because they just realized it might be the only thing that you need for Web3 businesses.
So maybe there is no need for more stablecoins.
It's like what you said, it's just like two agents interacting in a decentralized manner. Yes. There was like another narrative, it's called TEE. It's like a truly independent environment. Oh. So it's basically like two agents operating independently. So there is no human involvement. So it provides you the certain level of decentralization. Payment solution, we see like major banks are integrating crypto payment solutions, like some providers like MasterCard, working with Bybit, BitChat, just announced today.
AI is the elephant in the room.
But yes. Crypto AI or just AI in particular? Yeah?
So it's always the question mark how Web3 could serve AI, right? And I believe right now we are moving in the direction that there is the perfect intersection between Web3 and AI that's happening.
So Juliet, welcome to the show. It's always a pleasure to have dear friends on the show, and always great to have a VC on Blockcast, a show. And I think it's going to be a blast. Grilling the VCs, or we were just discussing, either you will grill us or we will grill you. It's not clear. I think it's more probably you will grill us.
We join forces and then we grill the audience.
Grill the audience, yeah. We will grill you. We're looking at the cameras. We will grill you.
I would like to
showing up the other side of the market, right? Like, you
Why
know.
not?
But anyways, thanks for inviting me. Like, of course,
pleasure.
It's always a pleasure to talk to friends, and
Thank
like, you know, it doesn't matter privately or publicly, and it's even more fascinating to share our ideas with a wider audience.
Awesome.
Also, let's highlight that this is our second VC in the region. VC, and always nice to talk to VCs. I mean, as we said, maybe MEVP is not a direct competitor, but it was a very interesting chat, and we're looking forward for our conversation today.
Yes. And Juliet, to start, I remember that moment we were at, what was the name of the conference? It was the FinTech Summit, or
it was like FinTech Summit, I believe.
You know, I met you at the FinTech Summit, and you came to me and you said, Anton, the crypto VC cycle is dead or broken. I'm paraphrasing. Broken.
When was that?
That was a month and a half ago.
Like
it was
a certain period of time. Yeah,
I remember, and it was something very interesting when you told me that. First of all, I didn't know at the beginning what you meant by that, because not a VC, or I'm not actively day-to-day involved with that, but you made a very powerful statement that the rules of the game have changed in crypto.
Yep.
Based on our discussion, I wrote a small, humble post on LinkedIn, might have gone viral, and that, I learned about that, so please tell us a bit, you have extensive experience in the venture capital space. You are, if I may say, you're the most active VC here in the region or in the UAE.
Let's say one of. Right?
One of. Not to.
I know a few really cool VCs in the region.
We do not know any others.
I do respect
we only know you.
And
Yes. But tell us, how does the VC game look like today? What has changed, or what is different than in the previous cycle, and maybe also your background, your experience, and what are you working on now?
Okay. So where to start from? So
it's many questions. So
but it's okay. I could cover. I do remember. So I started crypto in 2017. I came from the corporate career. I used to work over 10 years for big Chinese corporates. I speak over 20 years fluent Mandarin, and it's my second language actually.
Oh, very strong.
I mean, I started to learn Mandarin in 2001. Then China was some undeveloped country, and people looked at me like I was crazy why I decided to learn Mandarin. And of course, it helped me a lot in the future. So 2017, I started like to do crypto because I felt like it gives a certain level of freedom. You can just do lots of things, travel across the world, meet interesting people.
So it's instead of working 9 to 5, you work 24/7.
But I enjoy it, like, because you can work 24/7, but any time you can just switch off because you feel so, and then get back absolutely refreshed. And it was 2017. I started to do crypto in China, and you might remember it was an ICO boom. So everyone wanted to get someone who could support them in China. And of course, like, I've got a traditional investment network. I spoke fluent Mandarin, so I was like the person to reach if you want to have some connections in China. That's the time I started to build my network.
Shanghai or Beijing?
So see, like, that time everyone traveled across China, starting from Beijing, Shanghai, Shenzhen, and Hong Kong. And their different conferences happened back to the days. So I started my consultancy business. I've got media company with some Chinese colleagues. I did events for crypto projects. So multiple services. And then, but pandemic brought me to Dubai because I couldn't go back to China. And then I met a few people. We decided to start a VC. So it's 2020. There was no Web3 space in Dubai. And I remember how challenging it was to get on call with projects and say we are Dubai-based VC. So you can see people giggling like, hey, what are you doing in Dubai? It's like what we should expect from Dubai, because it was no Web3 in Dubai again. And everyone expected to have some, but I said like, oh, I've got all my Chinese network. I can introduce you to exchanges. In 2020, of course, it was a bull run. So it was, very challenging for VCs because you need to prove your value to any project. And it was really hard to get some good deals.
Can I just ask you, coming from 2017-18 ICO boom to 2020, I remember it a little bit, the ICO boom was really completely nuts. I remember it right, actually. How was that in China in early days? Was it as crazy as we experienced it?
It was somehow crazy, but I can even extend to the topic that we are discussing right now. 2017, there were a bunch of VCs in China, right? And what kind of VCs it was? Like, I've got some money made on Ethereum ICO, so I decided to have VC. It's ABC VC.
Okay.
And so I've got money to invest in project, no legal entity, nothing. It's just because I have like some crypto to invest and will go and invest in some projects. That how VC looked like, right?
There is no threshold on the capital.
Nothing.
No vehicle.
No, it's like
nothing.
it was completely like a gray market. But there were like some well-known VCs in China at that time, and people wanted to reach them out. Of course, there were a few like alleged people. For example, Tripe Dragon, they are still active. Richard is a good friend, so they started that time, and then they had like a traditional fund in China. So that's why different types of people. But most of the VC community that days, they were like just crypto enthusiast with some money made either on Bitcoin or on Ethereum. Okay. But then we are talking about 2020. Then VCs became kind of cult. So it was like you need to have some legal entity, you need to have some team, and like of course everyone wanted to have as many VCs on the cap table as possible because exchanges looked at what VCs are on the cap table. It was like a certain level of credibility.
Okay.
So the more VCs you have, the better, from different regions, and every VC tried to provide some value to the project because they expect it is going to be another 100x opportunity.
Maybe you can explain a little bit what is a VC for the audience to understand.
Yes,
because you just went in.
No, I mean, like everyone knows that it doesn't matter if you're in Web3 space or you're in traditional space, like venture capital are those people who are placing money in some startups, let's say.
Is it their own money? They're raising money?
Different types of VC structure that exist. It could be proprietary capital. or it could be LP money. So it could be your money, it could be LP money, it could be different types of capital. Or even like back to 2020, we had so many community-based VC. So basically, like you get your community who are happy to invest in some projects, and then you are wrapping up it under one umbrella, under one name, and then you invest in some projects, and then you get commission from any money made on these projects. So different types of vehicle existed, especially in Web3 space. But then I want to elaborate on that, what's happening now from that perspective. Overall, I believe there is no Web3 as a separate alternative space at all. Because when we started 2017, it was like, I remember like, it was like, oh, my mom heard I'm working on Bitcoin and I should be careful. So people heard like you're a kind of mafia and you do some shady things, right? But then like crypto became more and more popular. And what we experience right now is the proper institutional adoption, finally. So I remember back to the days like 2020, we started to talk about like something that Web 2.5 without even understanding what is Web 2.5 and how it should look like. And this is Web 2.5 is actually happening nowadays, right? And the whole story is that it's all evolving. Now we don't have like a Web3 as an alternative space. We have innovation. And everyone, if we look around like local people, they talk about investing in innovation, which consists of AI, blockchain, and sustainability. So 3 key elements. Of course, you can just expand and you can talk about different other things, but the key elements or wherever is attractive for investments nowadays are these things. So that's why, like, talking about Web3 VC, it's nowadays, it doesn't matter if you're like a Web3 or non-Web3. It depends on the investment thesis you have. It depends on the strategy that you have and what kind of innovation you're investing in. And how big is the innovation element within the project that you're investing. And of course, it's like the same as traditional VC, as we discussed, you shouldn't look at 5-6 month capital return. You should look at 5-8 year cycle, considering the traditional economic cycles.
Yes. And Julia, then to ask you, also just for our audience to learn more, when we're talking about traditional VCs, usually we mean equity investments. So you buy shares, the investor buys shares. In the Web3 space, we have this innovation called the tokens. So where, of course, a Web3 project can have a legal entity where you can invest into shares, right? But you can also invest into tokens, right? And I think this is a very interesting touch point between the traditional VCs and the crypto VCs, that the crypto VCs have this new, to quote you, innovative way of deploying capital. So how do you see these 2 different approaches? Are they different? Are they becoming the same?
Again, just what I said, like my theory is the same. Now there is no difference if you're like a Web3 VC or like you're a traditional VC, because overall, as we talk between other VCs and what we see from the market, in some cases, the equity investment is overperforming.
Overperforming?
Yes, and the token investments mostly underperforming.
And this is for this cycle or
for these, like what started to happen within, like, let's say last year, right? So because we started to invest in equity after the last cycle, so probably 2021, 2022, and that was like mainly hedging the risk element, because you never know when the next cycle will start. And so in order to hedge the risk, you do equity plus token warrant, assuming that the project will launch the token any day, any time, probably within the next years.
Sorry, can you explain for our audience, what did you mean? I mean, I kind of know what you mean, but what is this equity investment plus token warrant? Can you in plain language explain it for them?
Of course. So equity investment is you're buying the shares of the company, basically. You get a stake in the company, and token is that additional element. Then the company is launching their utility token on some exchanges.
At some point in the future.
Yeah, some point in the future, right? They promise you that they will launch that token one day, but you don't know the terms, you don't know the valuation, or they kind of suggest you some valuation, but it could change by the time that the token is getting listed to the exchanges. Okay. So it's a kind of, security element for you because, well, you got the equity in this company, and then like an extra, you will have a token one day. So what happened recently, like some of these companies started to generate revenue, the real revenue.
Revenue in crypto industry?
Yes, of course, because they provide some infrastructure or the services and they have clients and they started to generate revenue. And of course, like the business is going kind of okay, but then they launch the token, there is no users.
Okay.
There are no users for these tokens because there is no community. And also an interesting part that if you just track the fundraising announcement recently, then you can see that probably 80% of the companies, they're closing their rounds, they are institutional something. The service for institutional clients, some institutional infrastructure, institutional trading terminal, DEX, whatever. So now, but then on the other side, if you do something for institutional, so it means that you're working within the B2B segment, then why you need to launch a token? That's the question mark, right?
So the community, which is the other entities, is maybe not the right fit then.
Exactly,
for
because token was supposed to be launched for incentivizing retail audience.
Yes.
And the further we go, the less retail appetite we have. But there is the next level appetite from the traditional financial market and from the institutional market. And what I mean by that, because then there is no certain need for the token, probably if you want to do some transactions, whatever, it's better for you to have the stable coin and share the equity within your company, right? So your investors could get the dividends from the equity and the business performance and use the stable coin within the infrastructure that you're building. So that's why like lots of people say that there is a stablecoin summer that's happening nowadays. Because now everyone is trying to build their stablecoin because they just realized it might be the only thing that you need for Web3 businesses, right? You don't need this community token because the problem is like so many tokens we have in the market, but what is the token utility? It's like everyone is saying DAO. But like, I mean, we know it's really hard to incentivize people to participate in the DAO voting. And this is number one. And number two is staking. But why should I stake the tokens? It's very simple. It's more on the market speculation, right? If there is a token utility, I want to buy the token and I want to spend this token for some services that I can receive.
Not sure you want to receive the yield.
Of course. Now, I mean, like you want to receive the yield, but everyone understanding the staking model and DeFi model is getting broken because money can't go from nowhere, right? So you will receive the yield, but maybe the token will go down. And then like,
No, I understand, but the new hot topic is stable coins that have yield.
Of course, of course. And that's the other thing is like how you're able to generate that yield.
This is the $1 million question.
And then, because that's what I'm saying, like why we are like lots of people, even like recently I've seen Hasi from Dragonfly, he elaborated on the DeFi topic is that, and what I'm saying, like if you talk to, again, normal audience, and we are talking about DeFi, and let's say you come to me as a service provider and you're saying, I can tell you, like I can do some yield for you based on some DeFi strategies. And you ask, okay, DeFi strategies, what's the strategies? And like, wait, I'm taking your money, I'm like putting here as a collateral, and then I'm putting here as a liquidity provision, and I'm staking, restaking, liquid staking. And you look at me like, okay, but where the money comes from? Right? Like, so that's why, like, I believe this kind of utility token era is getting over. And we, of course, we are coming to the point that there is a certain necessity of launching RWA solutions. And by saying RWA, the initial stage that I mean, that you can collateralize something that has real value. And if you want to do any DeFi, you can do it based on the real assets, where you understand where the money comes from.
Juliet, to ask you then this question from your experience. Generating real value. So if you would have to tell us how many startups in the crypto industry ever earn over $1 million in revenues, how many of them earn $10 million in revenue? The reason why I'm asking is even if you look at the traditional companies, startups, very few even make $1, you know? And from those few who make $1, very, very few make 1 million and are not making 10 million and 100 million. How does that work in the crypto space from your experience? Do these companies make money?
No, of course. You know, centralized exchanges are making lots of money, and we all know this. Yeah. And of course, like it's not only on spot trading where they've got commission on every trading happens, but also on perpetual trading, which is the major market for them, of course. Decentralized exchanges, Uniswap is a typical example.
Also,
Uniswap is a very good example.
That is
hyperliquid.
Hyperliquid again, and there is the direct revenue stream coming from. It depends.
less a bit.
Yeah, less a bit probably. So it depends on who are your clients, who are your audience, and how you're able to leverage that. But honestly, we just discussed today. So if you can see that, I call it like a fintech renaissance that's happening nowadays. It's that so many like traditional financial institutions, they are happy to integrate crypto and do digital asset management. Why? Because it's becoming really hard for them to make some money on traditional assets, and there is a way more opportunities to make money by providing digital asset management services.
And what do you mean by digital management, digital asset management services?
Which products you mean?
Which products do you mean?
No, I mean like option trading, ETFs.
On the digital assets?
On the digital asset side.
Only the majors?
Of course, but it depends. Like we see like different hedge funds, they have Ethereum strategies, they have like a Bitcoin strategies, even like some Solana strategies. But that's actually another trend that I've noticed at the market is that why again? Because we started like from the point that VC cycle is getting broken, and what I believe the market is getting more and more centralized. So mostly like top 200, top 100 coin market cap projects will survive, hopefully. And it's really hard to find a way to make real business for those tier 2, tier 3 projects. So that's why like all the investments, like let's say 80-90% of investments of investor, like of VCs, like are going to zero, because now it's becoming we are like experience the market that's everything is about generating revenue.
But a VC will typically come on board on Series A or Series B or a later stage. It will not be on the beginning like an angel investor.
Exactly.
So it will leave the family and friends, or the angel investor come first, maybe allow the project for a year or a year plus. And then with the first valuation, you guys will be joining the project, reevaluating the project and deciding if you want to join a project, correct?
Yes, you highlighted quite well from the VC perspective, because again, same like tier 1 startups will survive, same like a tier 1 VC. So if you have enough capital to invest in Series A, Series B, then it will be the market for you. But then it's very early stage, it's more about friends and family. Because for example, I know you are like a multiple startup founder with a good exit, and I do believe that you will make it. So it's about like trusting people. And then in this case, you don't care if I have some entity or I'm jumping in as an angel investor. So it's more like a friends and family rounds, which I see like becoming quite popular at the market for the early stage startups. Because before it was what we used to invest. It was like a seed, pre-series A, everything before the token launch. But now the whole investment cycle is becoming really complicated because, as I mentioned, before it was like the logic behind was you invest in 100 startups. Seed, pre-series A, pre-seed, and out of 100 startups you have one that makes 100x, which covers all of your investments, right? So you don't care if there is any other project performing well or performing not well, at least you have like your principal back. At this market, because the market is becoming less volatile overall and more solid, it's really hard to have something in your portfolio that can strike 100x. The whole kind of concept of getting something 100x is getting broken as well. So optimistically, you can have successful startup, which gives you 10x. And if any startup
even
like
10x is a very big number.
no, that's what I'm saying. It's in a very,
number.
very, very optimistic scenario, right? Yeah. And overall, from even like recent investments and something that launched recently, I can tell like 2-3x, like I consider very successful investment. But in this case, if like the rest 90% goes to zero, and you are not profitable.
Yes,
it doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
And what are you looking for in the projects you are investing to jump in now in Series A, in Series B, in Series C? Where are you looking to join in projects? In what round?
See, we still supporting the founder seller stage. So that's the thing. So it's on our website. It's our motto. We invest in people. So for us, that's the whole beauty of the journey. Then you see like how the company is growing, and you can provide some partnerships, some like, you know, support in terms of business development. So you're
in the middle between the angel and the Series A.
Yes.
So that's a very
more on the angel side, because it's interesting. That's the whole beauty. You're not accelerating, but you still kind of support with acceleration throughout the journey that they have.
Juliet, I definitely want to talk to you about the key narratives that you're interested in, but I definitely want to open up the provocative topic of meme coins. So how do you see meme coins? They have sucked in a lot of liquidity, mostly I think from the retail, from this like trading community. Not a lot of VCs, I think, were involved in this, right? Beyond the infrastructure layer, for instance, maybe they invested in pump.fund, but not in the meme coins themselves. How do you see meme coins? Are they bad for the industry? Are they good? Would you ever, as a VC, hypothetically invest into a meme coin? What's your thesis around that? And then we can go to more serious
We have a few like meme coin infrastructure projects in our portfolio, but I can tell you they changed the narrative. So they provide the overall infrastructure, not meme coins only. That explains everything, right? What I'm thinking personally about meme coins is the same what I personally think about casino. I mean, some people go to casino because they expect to win millions of dollars tomorrow. Like it's okay. So I do not want to go to casino myself because I don't believe in the easy gain. But yeah, some people like it and they go for it, and that's okay because they understand the risk and they go for that risk because that's maybe like, you know, the way they play the game. It's about the entertainment element, right? Like, and some of meme coins that, for example, I spoke with Pudgy Penguin in Turkey, and that is an amazing example. Then meme coin became a part of Web3 culture. And the community they have, it's just insane because you just strike the right narrative and the right kind of, you know, psychological aspect, and you're growing that fast. Then now it's going beyond the Web3 space at all. We even discussed with them, like, for example, you can just work with a real brand by bringing them the users, the community, because people trust you. You can do some cross collaboration, whatever. It's just like, you know, for example, cartoon or any movie, and we consume the digital content. So, and they're able to generate that kind of digital content as well.
Okay. Then let's go now to more serious topics.
Of course, any topics you want.
Yes. We mentioned stablecoins. Definitely one of the at least perceived bigger success stories in this market cycle. Even though both Circle and Tether have and MakerDAO, DAI, or Sky, how they're called now, have existed for a long time.
Apparently, Circle is going to be a bank now.
They will try. They will try. RWAs, the biggest promise of the crypto industry, another hot narrative. Are there any other narratives that you find interesting as a VC into this? AI?
Of course.
AI is the elephant in the room.
But the crypto AI or just AI in particular? Yeah?
So it's always the question mark how Web3 could serve AI, right? And I believe right now we are moving in the direction that there is the perfect intersection between Web3 and AI that's happening. And the intersection, it's again in this, the element of decentralization, which is required for some of the AI solutions, right? Because the more information you share with AI, the more you expect to have this decentralized element, right? And what's the beauty about AI space, because I spoke with a few projects, you need to understand the market capacity, then you launch something. Because like recently a few projects reached me out, oh, we are the biggest, I don't know, TV platform, we have millions users, we would love to raise pre-seed of 500 million valuation. I'm like, okay, wait guys, like for example, Telegram, it's 2 billion valuation now, with like 1 billion users, right? This is the market capacity for social application that you could expect. Yes. But if we are talking about AI, there is a huge market capacity right now in terms of the valuation growth, right? So that's why, like, if you bring the good intersection of Web3 and AI, then it's something that can provide very good revenue to investors itself. Nice. The other topic is, of course, because we are slowly moving to the real world use cases, it's DePIN.
DePIN is decentralized physical infrastructure.
Yes. Yeah. So then you have some physical, I don't know, another like example, the fitness ring connected to blockchain, and then you can just gain some tokens, whatever. Multiple use cases we see where like people do some actions. There's like, I can say there is like a advanced something like walk to earn, play to earn model, but in a very advanced manner where it is a economic model integrated within, right? Because you need to balance between like keeping the proper financial model within any project that you're building.
Okay. And do you see any other narratives? So stablecoins, RWAs,
payments, of course. Payment solution, we see like major banks are integrating crypto payment solutions, like some providers like MasterCard, working with Bybit, BitJet just announced today. So
I think Ripple announced today that they have a partnership with OpenPay, right? Actually, which is a big payment provider. Our LUSD is getting
Crypto.com providing payment for government services. Like the announcement was that taxis are accepting crypto in Abu Dhabi.
Arabia Airlines actually, so for flight tickets.
So this is like we see the practical use case, the very practical use case where you understand your revenue because we understand the percentage that people paying for Swift and SEPA, and then you're like it takes your days to go to all these emittents like and get money to the bank account, but then you've got everything settled like instantly.
AI tokens, it used to be a very, very hot topic, Anton, last year.
Yes.
We were looking at AI tokens, but nowadays AI tokens is not something really hot.
It is a part. It's still like, see, now basically all these Web3 AI infrastructure is something which is staying aside from the main flow, right? But it's still there. And the opportunity is still there, and people expect like us.
But everybody was expecting DeepSeek to have their own token.
Yes,
but it's not possible because of the Chinese regulatory framework, and you know that, right? Of course, everyone wanted.
Then you still have Hong Kong until 2035, I believe.
But Hong Kong again, there is like there is a sandbox in Hong Kong, and nothing came out of that sandbox
this is
so far.
What we were expecting. All of these big AI projects. I mean, the same thing with now it's called Gemini in Google. After the acquisition of Gemini, also to have their own AI token.
Maybe I think the closest connection that I saw to AI was actually with WorldCoin.
Yeah,
So this is some Altman's pet project, right?
Yeah.
Where they scan your eyes, your iris, right? Is this? Would you put that more towards the AI projects or the DePIN projects?
No, it's a mixture because like again, there is no separate like you mix the narratives. It's not about the narrative. It's about the practical use case that you provide. So the market, like if you ask me what I want to invest in, I could say like a very simple matter, whatever makes sense, right? Like I don't care because before there were some cliches. If you want to get investors, just say some infrastructure, DePIN, AI, DeSign, whatever, FAG,
Terra Luna.
ZKML, whatever. They were like some crazy words where people operate with and say that we are looking for the real mass adoption of technology. So that's why we are investing in FAG, ZK infrastructure and things like that. So nowadays, like it's very simple. Tell me how I can use it myself. Tell me, maybe I won't use it myself, but I will recommend it to my friends.
So Julia, you need a use case now.
Exactly. It's all about like a practical applications and use cases that make sense at the market.
Okay. And reading a lot about AI recently, I mean, AI is a very hot topic I really enjoy reading about. I found out that an AI can talk to another AI machine. So there is communication between AIs. But if an AI was going to transact with another AI, the mean will be something like a Bitcoin, not a stable coin, because with stable coins, someone is managing the treasury, there is supply and demand, where with the transacting in an instrument like Bitcoin, everything is totally transparent.
Yep.
So maybe there is no need for more stable coins.
It's like what you said, it's just like two agents interacting in a decentralized manner. There was like another narrative, it's called TEE. It's like a truly independent environment.
Oh, okay.
So it's basically like two agents operating independently. So there is no human involvement. So it provides you the certain level of decentralization.
And which you think will be the medium of transacting? Will it be something like Bitcoin?
So see, we even discussed it today. I mean, I believe that if you don't want to be stressed, don't think about decentralization, right? I mean, it could be decentralized to the certain extent, but that should be human control over it, like at some point.
But why do we need human control?
No, because like, you know, you never know where it's going to go. So you need to, it could be like, you know, the world can't get decentralized like instantly. The world is becoming more tribal, I might say, but it is like the decentralization happening because of these tribes, right? Like it's about like all this network state, whatever. So we are like facing the globalization. We are facing like whatever processes are happening nowadays. But it's all about like having a group of people who are like-minded, and you are able to build everything together because you have this group of like-minded people.
That's the best advertisement, Anton, for our podcast.
We
we're
need
very
a lot
tribal.
Of course, you're very tribal. We have an amazing tribe in Dubai. I like it.
Yes. Thank you. Juliet, then actually to continue on that topic. So you were in China leading some pioneering work in the crypto industry, on the crypto side. You're now in Dubai, in UAE. Very happy to have you here, and tell us a bit more about your experience here in the UAE. From those early days building the crypto community, the Web3 community, what do you see today and your outlook for the future for UAE?
Yeah. So, of course, I'm doubling down on the UAE as a market. And then I came here, as I mentioned. There was no Web3 space except a few enthusiasts that tried to make something here. Like, typical example, Dr. Marwan, who tried to create like some solid community and bring more people, because of course
I thought you were going to say Irina, our dear friend.
No, I mean Irina is, she's like the next level.
Hi to Irina. But yes, sorry guys.
Shout out to Dr. Marwan.
Shout out to Irina. You know, we wanted to announce something to the audience that was we can announce.
Yes, please.
Top people in the UAE.
Yes. How was it? Tell us,
No, I mean, a few enthusiasts here who tried to build a solid community. But of course, like, you know, people realize that there is a capital in the Middle East, and lots of people, unfortunately, they tried to use that for, you know, some bad things. And but it's an organic process. You never learn until you get some experience, right? So that's why we try to build this solid community and to bring more and more legit players in the Middle East, and to showcase that life is beautiful here, because it is. It's quite convenient to live in Dubai. Service is good, weather is nice, all is good here.
Safety, security.
And safety, of course, security.
And welcoming people, everybody's very welcoming,
So, so hands-on on the regulators here, because I believe they are the pioneers who started to publicly announce something that's been built within crypto space, right? And that's what I love about the mentality of people here, that they're not afraid to try. Because, you know, usually we see like some trials within the small countries, and then if it doesn't work, they're suffering, because like it's a small country, it's a small community, it's a small population. What we experience here is just like the government is so, like, you know, forward thinking. They believe in the future. The future is happening now, and that's why they're like putting their efforts and then money and capital in the technologies of the future.
Yes.
And that makes you feel that you're a part of something bigger, right?
Yes.
And that's where it inspires all of us here in the Middle East, because we do believe that we are a small, tiny part of something of the greater vision. Because like that's what government is doing here. They think big. And that's amazing, because like, okay, at least I'm a small contributor in this big ecosystem that's happening in the Middle East. And of course, like, you know, I believe only in the UAE, you basically, if you have a great idea, you can come to any institutional player, to any government and say, hey guys, let's talk.
Yes.
I've got a proposal to you. There is always an open dialogue that's happening, like VARA roundtables. Yes. I believe you attended, ADGM. Everyone is bringing the players and community together in order to understand what happened, in order to better understand what's happening within the market and how they can improve the ecosystem here. It's not like something that acts independently, but it's like you feel that, of course, I can influence. Yes. I can make some influence here. That's something that never happens anywhere else in the world.
I definitely feel as well that here people and institutions definitely listen.
Yes.
This open-mindedness of accepting feedback with the outlook that something positive comes out of that. So I think that here we can say that UAE has done really a great job, right?
Yep.
There's definitely a vision there.
Yeah, very strong.
There's a vision for 2030, 2040, 2050.
Yes.
There is a broader
a lot of vision here where people
look at flying taxis.
Yes.
I mean, it's here, and I know that they have the goal to make it public and like to launch it full scope by 2027.
Yes.
Wow.
So it's going to be like the major transport here in the UAE.
So like Anton was saying, so you came from China to the UAE, and what did you think? Let's start the VC. What did you think the first thing? Should I start another company? Should I start my own business? Should I raise funds?
So, the reason I decided, like, not me, is like, you know, I've got an offer from one of our like fund partners, and you know, the thing is, what I believe is that being just a VC is just like, okay, VC, it's an overall something that gives your influence, right? Okay. And then like by having VC brand, you can just do more things and contribute more to the ecosystem. So because like when you're VC, like you can, I don't know, support some projects, some startups when you're invested in with business development. You can do events, you can do podcasts. I don't know, together you want to do marketing, of course, you can do marketing as a part of the support that you're providing to the project. So VC basically means you're an enabler for the startups, and especially if you're investor at the stage.
Okay. Maybe to also ask you, Juliet, when projects or founders want support for you or they want to get in contact with you, how does this usually happen? How do people reach you? Is this, I saw at the conference how many people were surrounding you, queuing just to say hi. Do they approach you on LinkedIn, Twitter, messages? How do people connect with you usually?
Everywhere. Or, you know, there is another trick that I've noticed, and then they find someone who might, like, for example, be connected with me on LinkedIn, and they're like, oh, we have some project they want to talk to you specifically because they need some advice. But again, I believe that we are living in the world that everyone should be very open-minded and community-oriented, because your community, your tribe is your power. You can't stay alone in the room with the closed doors and expecting that like there is a big opportunity coming to you, right? So that's why you never know. Okay. That's why, like, I mean, I'm really happy to talk to founders, even it's very early stage, and give them some ideas, because, you know, sometimes it's such a pleasure to hear that somebody's coming to you, oh, remember you told me that 2 years back and we actually did that and now it works. And you're like, seriously, what did I tell you that time? I don't even remember.
Yeah.
But they do.
They do. Okay. And I remember that when you told me one time an advice that you give to founders who want to approach you at the at the conferences or at big events where you're kind of quite tied up. What advice would you give to founders how they should approach a VC or you? Let's say if they see you at Token 2049 or Abu Dhabi Finance Week.
It's not even about like approaching VCs. It's, you know, like right now there is a big flow of information coming to people from everywhere. And you don't have time just to interact with that big amount of information. So I remember back to the days, like, you know, everyone sent you the deck. So I had to look through the deck to understand if I want to invest in this project or I don't want to invest in this project. Now everyone is sending the blurb. That is basically the short summary.
How many slides is the blurb?
No, it's just a text.
It's like it's like a small text on Telegram. Something that you that's something that you can send on Telegram, highlighting all the key points about on the bullet points about your project. That's it. And then you have deck and socials enclosed.
And the deck has to be 5 slides, 10 slides, 20 slides?
A deck doesn't matter because, like, you know, every VC looks at the blurb first to understand if it matches their investment thesis, if it's interesting for them to learn further. Because if it's interesting, they will go to data room, deck, socials, whatever they want to use to proceed their due diligence. But the first step is the blurb. Like, let's say maybe like a 10 sentences, but like it's like, for example, partnership with investors are doing this. So it's a very, very extracted content of whatever you're building. So as a founder, that's another challenge. When you reach out to VC at the conference, you can't pitch for 2 minutes what you're building because, you know, it's always loud, like nobody will remember it. You can't pitch your blurb, but what you need to have in mind is only one sentence that makes investor curious, that can grab the attention of the investor you talk to. It's like, we are building the next generation of social app. Okay. And can I send you my deck? Or can I send you my blurb? It should be some kind of, you know, striking narrative that I can say, yes, I want to look at that because it sounds interesting.
I think my blurb will be in my project. Anton Golub is part of it.
I
will be like, please send me your deck.
Do you know what was my blurb to Juliet to invite her to the show? I said Demetrios is the co-host, you know?
Thank you.
And then she said, yes, send me the deck.
50 pages, 50 slides.
And I like the agenda he sent me about this podcast. Like, instead of sending the questions, he was like, oh, please, we make it very casually, look natural. You can wear something like, you know, official or maybe whatever you want. Bright colors look good on you. So it was like the whole summary of the way I should look, which means like everything should go very organic.
Yes.
We put a lot of time into this blurb.
No, I like it.
Yes.
Because usually, like, I felt like, okay, now I will receive the questions. Nothing about questions, but everything about like.
We first were doing practice and training on the first few guests, and then when we learned what works, then we now stick to
it. I think the guests were training us without them knowing.
Yes, they were. But that's how it should be, you know, because the same way as in venture capital investments, you learn a lot from the investors who have actually a bigger outlook than what you do, right? Because you see so many deals, you see many times what works or in principle works, what works less. So I think it makes sense that this interaction with investors is two-way, right? So it's not just the project sharing information, but hopefully receiving something as well.
No, of course. It's like the best thing you can learn is by getting the experience, right? Like by your personal experience. And sometimes it's good to speak to other investors and learn from their experience in order to not to make the same mistake.
Yes. Juliet, maybe to ask you then, because we talked about what are your then plans for the rest of the year. Token 2049, I remember I saw you. Abu Dhabi Finance Week, are you joining? Or how does it, I know you just came back from Turkey.
There is a they say there is a rumor that Token 2049 might not take place in Asia. This is the rumor.
No, it's gonna be. No, it's gonna be in.
I'm shocked now.
This is why it's a rumor. Probably.
It's like it's a rumor. It's like I believe it's they are selling tickets. It's gonna be in Singapore at the beginning of October.
They are selling tickets.
They are selling tickets. So I believe it's locked. people are getting like places and preparing for side events. So my goal is very simple. Keep contributing into the ecosystem in general in any ways possible.
Yes.
That's the thing.
So you will definitely be attending some conferences.
For us, it's like, again, attending conference.
But which are your favorite conferences?
It's not about like I'm trying, like, for me, attending the conference again, bringing some impact.
Okay.
So I'm not attending conference. I usually do some events during these conferences, right? So for us, the target is like Korean Blockchain Week. So of course I love exploring new markets, and especially some local markets where you see that there is a very active community existing.
Yes.
So that's why I spoke at Istanbul Blockchain Week, and next I'm planning Korea, then Singapore Token 2049 for sure, and of course Abu Dhabi Finance Week. It's the event of the year. You feel like you are celebrating somebody's birthday
before the close, I think.
Yeah.
By the way, you know whose birthday it is during Abu Dhabi Finance Week?
Whose? Wow.
If there are some viewers who would want to give me some gifts on 11th of December, I will not complain.
We need to make a side event.
Birthday event.
Yeah, birthday side event, but make it like as a proper birthday party. So I can just bring like 200 people to celebrate your birthday.
Demetrios, you will organize because you're the best organizer.
I was going to propose my side event to host his birthday cake, but after I hear 200 people, maybe I should keep my mouth shut.
Juliet, let's readjust the numbers later to convince Demetrios.
Depends of how big you want to go as a superstar, or as a local superstar.
I'm a very humble person, and that's how always in company of good friends, actually. Yeah. And so we covered, your journey, how you came to, how you started off in crypto, coming from the corporate worlds. Discussed some narratives, gave some very good advices for founders and also for the industry, like how the VCs think. Maybe also just on my side, some last questions. Because you mentioned that the VC world is changing. How do you see that then happening? We are still in this bull market. I think we all feel very optimistic. Do you see some changes that are coming or something you would like to emphasize?
So again, something that I want to emphasize, and there is a very small kind of part of the projects that I gonna to perform at the current market, and then again the market is gonna be, it's becoming more institutional, right? So because before, like everyone is crypto, or like in a rebellious community, we build like an alternative to traditional financial market, and it shouldn't be the revolution. It should be the evolution, I believe, right? So you shouldn't invent a wheel overall. So it's better to collaborate with something that's been here for hundreds of years, right? So that's why like we see this like a financial evolution happening nowadays. So that's why like, that's something to think about, like for any VC. So they need to find a way to collaborate with the institutional players. They need to find a way to collaborate with regulators, and they need to find something that could work at the current market and has practical use case.
I think the first big change will happen when two big foundations merge together, like Ethereum and Cardano.
No, but actually it's another trend that I want to highlight, because what we are seeing right now, a lot of M&A deals happening. Because people started to realize that, for example, you cover like a part of the whole infrastructure, and you are struggling with keep raising from investors. So you can join forces with someone else who is covering the same part of the infrastructure from the other side, and then you can become bigger company, and then you have more chances to succeed at this market. So lots of people realize that. I believe it's Chinese people. They're looking for SPAC and pipe deals. So it doesn't matter. It could be like either traditional company listed on NASDAQ, or it could be some other company that you understand that you can join forces and succeed together.
But even with the tokens, imagine you have two different coins like
Yeah.
Ethereum and Cardano. Maybe there's something in the middle and you exchange the
Yes,
coins
exactly.
and you
No, I
get
mean,
a new one.
I hardly believe that Ethereum could match with Cardano, but again, yes. So Fetch AI is a good example.
Yes,
There are
yes,
different, like,
Fetch
you know, companies with a good narrative. They join forces together, and now again they did a spec and pipe, and now they're merged with like a publicly listed company. Though this is the very typical trend that I believe it's gonna happen for the next like at least half a year.
Juliet, I think this was a very good discussion today. Learned a lot again from the VC's perspective. Always something new for me. I think we almost at the end had the climax of our show, Cardano and Ethereum merging. I think two powerful, almost said egos figures. Charles and Vitalik.
We have to give big examples, Anton.
We need to open like a voting, the DAO voting. It's like
please for the audience, for the audience, vote. You know, if there will be a merger between Cardano and Ethereum.
Prediction market. It's like another narrative. So let's just bet. Let's make a bet.
Yeah, not investment products advice, but
we still want to see two big foundations, not SPAC, not consulting.
A merger.
Yeah, two foundations.
Like a proper M&A, right?
M&A, yeah. It would be amazing.
Awesome, yeah.
I will be in the event.
Yeah. I would come, yeah.
Solana Ethereum.
Yes, Solana Ethereum. So, really, thank you very much for our discussion. Always a pleasure to have friends. Demetrios, I think he was very strong again, learning a lot.
When really the time flew.
Time flew, actually. And you were responsible for this amazing insights.
It was interesting. It's like it was like I believe it was quite an exciting discussion that we had, and we covered a lot of topics.
Awesome, yeah. So really, thanks again for joining us, Juliet. Really a pleasure, and hopefully, you know, we see us soon again. And thanks to the audience for joining us. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, and enjoy the show. And see you soon, all.